Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the first Tuesday video. This one's going to go over something we talked about yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday and you don't know what's going on, there's a problem with Hercules to a degree. To quickly catch you up on the situation, back a little while ago it was known that you could use Hercules as a champion as soon as you would get hit. But going past 0% health, you'd, with an awakened ability, boom, trigger off an immortality buff. This immortality buff comes from a signature ability that says immortality is paused during personal special attacks or while landing basic attacks and is removed if struck by a special attack 3. Now for those in the situation that notice at the moment, they're kind of going like, right, well for the last month they've known that the champion's been able to be hit by an SP3. Even if it knocks out completely all the health of the champion, it's able to stay alive. But something has changed in the last week. An example of which is going to come up on screen now. You'll see 55% of health on Hercules. This SP3 from Nick Fury is going to be thrown, showing that the champion has now been put down to 0%. At this point, you might expect immortality to trigger up based on previous footage, but no, you're straight KO. And this led many people speculating like, what the heck is going on? Like, it's confusing. We've seen videos by Karate Mike, by various other people that have showcased that little bit of, okay, I'm alive after that. And by the way that the signature ability reads, you kind of think, okay, well, I'll get my immortality. Then anything else when it comes to SP3 interaction is post that. Not whilst in an SP3, but after the point of you being reduced down to 0% or more than 0%, triggering off your immortality. So again, more questions were asked and there was an answer from Kabam, and now this spirals into me doing this dissection video to go in where things have gone wrong with the communication, and a few little bits of people from the forum thread who unfortunately are wrong but don't like to admit that they're wrong. So first of all, it started with Kabam Boot answering against this saying, "Hi folks, Hercules' signature ability is currently working as intended in this case. We apologise that there was a bug before, but it has since been resolved by our team. Please refer to Hercules Champion Spotlight for full description signature ability," which I'm not, because it still doesn't read correctly. Immortality is paused during personal special attacks or while landing a basic attack, and is removed if struck by a special attack 3. But again, we're talking about immortality is popping up during the SP3, but then is undermined in the same SP3. It's like you're kind of creating two scenarios or two elements, two parts here. And what we're trying to do is, based on the wording, which isn't worded correctly, is going, right, well, it doesn't fit. It needs to become one particular line of point in order to say, right, well, immortality pops up and then is knocked off in an SP3. But the SP3 reduces down to 0, but is that in part of the immortality? Is it triggering up or not? Either way, as I said, like, I do not find this as clear, and is something that Kabam agree with, and we'll go into that in a second. But something I do want to point out is that this whole situation is incredibly frustrating, and there is a lack of communication in this instant. You know, we go to update, or the release notes for update version 32.1. Now you'd expect that to be somewhere in the mush of bug fixes. It is not. It is not in the bug fixes of information. You've got stuff here, fixed an issue where Shang-Chi, Dr. Octopus, Dormammu, Omega Red, Moman, Hawkeye. We've got stability, Mighty Charge buff, Mephisto, Mr. Sinister. Nothing about Hercules at all. Nothing to give you a real picture that, hey, your favourite champion, which, look, it's one element of a signature ability, which, look, I'm not sure that anybody is going to be going, right, well, this is going to stop me from doing the amazing damage I do with the champion and using the champion in general. It's just something that's annoying because it's been showcased as having something as intended, but it turns out it's not. It's just incredibly bad communication, and also just a little bit of transparency that they were planning to fix this as, say, I don't know, mid-July, because like this has been like a month in the making since the champion was technically released. At the end of the day, this just goes back to the situation of when something is worded in the ability that kind of feels like it's something different than it is. It can be very frustrating for players. There may be certain rotations that give this I don't know, overconfidence that you can do something with Hercules that is going to be completely overpowered, but it does come back to the point of really understanding when Kabam put things in, and as well we see things, because that's the other side of stuff. Like, there's been so much kind of content, videos wise, that, and we'll talk about, like, you know, Karate might putting out a video, and the thing is, he didn't even know that that would be something that we changed. Funny enough, last night when I was having a late discussion with Kabam Broccoli about this whole situation, Mike was like, I have no idea that this was a thing, and woke up to a load of comments about, like, do you know that, like, Hercules has been nerfed? And he was like, I've been using that method, I've been showcasing that, and he was like, I did not know that that was a bug. So this is, again, this just boils down to incredibly bad communication about the fix to the bug, and as well the fact that the signature ability does read incorrectly. But I just want to read this because Dizzy was the first person who brought this to the case of the original post. And just basically saying this doesn't need to be a flame war. And that's the thing, I'm not going to be reading a lot of this forum thread because it does go in different directions. Kabam have agreed that it is a case that the signature ability doesn't read as well as it should. If you're disputing that, then hey, Kabam are the developer, by the way, so they have agreed that they have not, you know, made it so perfectly clear. Any case, I think it's safe to say that Hercules kit is ambiguously worded. Love that word. And I agree with Rich and Demons, and it wasn't worded properly. I know how I know that. Players of all levels for Hercules every day for an entire month. Thousands of players inevitably try to knock out Hercules with an SP3 only to see him survive and turn immortal at the end of the SP3, which yeah, I think I've done a few times in some previous contexts. Yeah, okay, it did seem like it was kind of a working as intended thing. Who knew that you know, when we were fighting off against him last month, that was indeed going to be a bug. Not a single thread here complaining about Hercules is bugged. I used an SP3 and he survived, even though the SIG ability says the SP3 should remove his immortality. Absolutely correct. So it's like saying, like, okay, well, I did an SP3 on Hercules back last month in that event quest. Are we still alive? No, because they thought that he was working as intended. Exactly. That to me is what makes it very clear that we are operating in a grey land. So please save your passive aggression on ability. Passive aggression on the ability being clear it is not clear, and it would just be good for Kabam to acknowledge the misstep here, not asking for items, not asking for compensation, asking for a genuine admission of fault and a way to fix this going forward. And it's really unfortunate if you kind of like go back to the developer's notes on the signature ability, which is Hercules' immortality mechanic is a very nice get out of jail free card when making a mistake that would normally kill him. Additionally, if playing aggressively, which is made a lot easier due to being unblockable, immortality can be kept for quite a while and allow Hercules to swing the fight back in his favour. Not completely in this particular situation and regard, because now that's not the case. It'll only be the basic hit, and as well the same point that we've said before is that this needs to be better explained, and I think Kabam are going to be changing the wording of the champion going forward to make it more clearer, especially for, like, you know, for translation, different languages, to the layman. It's important to kind of give that kind of I know, full breakdown in the most easiest way that people can go, okay, so it's not, it's special, it's all hang on, I've got a line for this. Actually, I've got two options. Something like this, you know, I'm not Kabam, they can put it in as they like. And is removed, so immortality, and is removed if struck by or triggered during a special attack 3. And is removed if struck by or triggered by the loss of all health in a special attack 3. So like two options there. Two options that kind of give like the idea of like, okay, well, you're going to lose immortality if you are in, or you're going to lose all health as a result of in the SP3, which is part of the signature ability, but as I said, is not currently clear. And this is why we love Kabam Boo. Unfortunately, Kabam Boo has to draw the short straw when it comes to dealing with us and being that kind of like midway person between the community and the devs, who are kind of like going, no, we are not going to do this, and the community going, this is wrong, this needs to be looked into. We apologise for any inconvenience and confusion caused. We have shared your thoughts and feedback with the team, and they will look into clarification of Hercules' signature ability description. For now, we can confirm that once more that Hercules is working as intended. Thank you for your understanding. Oh, love Kabam Boo. And as I said, like, she draws the short straw with trying to deal with him. I hope she goes home, like, really relaxes and go like, oh, I had a bit of a tough day today, but I've got a nice glass of wine, you know, a good book. Maybe she watches something, or maybe she does I don't know, some kind of like boxing in the evening, like damn community. No, she's probably just chilling, and that's the main thing. Now going forward, and look, it does suck. I would say to people, if you feel hard done by the awakened ability, because at the end of the day, talking about rank down tickets, which some people have, and then talking about like some sort of compensation, I think this is just one of these situations to go like, I think you would be entitled, and I feel personally you'd be entitled to an awakening gem return, because at the end of the day, if you were for that specific element interested about getting that element of the awakened ability of Hercules, then yes, of course, you've awakened it under that particular premise. I don't know if you could say that around the ranked up side of things, because the champion is still a massive damage dealer and is still incredibly well used in the community. From my discussion last night with Kabam, it does seem very clear that they may even change something to be and is removed if the opponent activates a special attack 3. So it kind of makes it a little bit more clearer, rather than saying the way that it is now. It just doesn't come across that the signature ability is clear what it does. It does feel like it's a two-parter, which is the two-parters are, number one, when all health is removed, you then would get the immortality buff pop up. And then number two, it would be a case you'd be able to continue on the fight, rather than saying, okay, you're in the SP3, you've lost all your health, and then that means you're done. So it just needs a case based on signature ability, needs to be more clear. And that's just the thing as well. I do think that if you want to do a support ticket about Hercules, please do, because then that will be a case that you may get something back. Not to say you will or won't. I think you've got a good case about the awakened side of things, if anything, on the matter. But it is. And as Kabam have said, I think I read something where this should have been caught in the patch notes. It was definitely an omission by Kabam. I definitely know they admit to that they needed to kind of like deal with that particular situation. So yeah, for any of those people in this thread that have been like, oh well, you know, the signature ability reads fine, yada yada. Kabam have said no, it doesn't read fine. They've agreed with us on that matter. Second thing is, a lot of people kind of like having a bit of a flame war on stuff, and it's just like, dudes, come on. There's a lot of kind of really bad takes in this thread. I'm not going to showcase some of them, because it does mean that I'm kind of like outing a few people for their kind of well, yeah, again, for their clownacy, their idiocy, and much more. So I'm just going to like say like, yeah, thumbs up, everyone's chill. Kabam have agreed that they need to do it, and really sad that it's kind of like it's come to bad communication and a bug fix that didn't feel like it was a bug when it was put in. As I said, there's a few kind of takes about YouTubers and posting content, just to be really clear, and especially in defense of anybody that might say anything against, say, I don't think anybody's going to go after Karate Mark or anybody that posted a video. I didn't certainly post a video on Hercules, but just to kind of say, at that time, we were unaware that this was a thing. I mean, like, I'll even take like, as I said, Karate Mike even said like last night, I had no idea it was working improperly. I showed that off literally over 10 times. So as of like a month later, he didn't even know. He woke up, as I said yesterday, to a load of messages saying, hey, do you know that Hercules has been nerfed? But look, let's just end this by saying, bad communication on Kabam's behalf. The signature ability does not read well, and that's something that Kabam are looking to change in the future. And the final thing is, if you feel hard done by any of the elements of this, then yes, do a support ticket on this, and I'm sure that it will be taken as a case-by-case basis. But it doesn't excuse the fact that still Hercules is a viable champion. It's just disappointing that this signature ability that was obviously bugged was not found out sooner, and therefore kind of left us to the situation of going, great, we have got a lack of transparency, bad communication, and none of this in the patch notes, which would have been so much better, so we would have to avoid this situation. But I hope you get a bit of clarity on the situation around why this Hercules Nerf thing has been coming up, or I'll try and phrase it a bit better. I don't really want to put that in the title, but you know, I don't think anybody saw the video yesterday, or I don't think a good amount of the community saw the video yesterday. So hey, I'm trying to get this content out to inform people about what's going on. It's important to keep locked to the channel, post notifications on all, subscribe and all that stuff. Anyway, cheers, big ears. Thanks very much for watching this, well, I don't know, it's like a dissection of the Hercules situation. And I'm trying to get some King Groot, nameless King Groot gameplay or something later on today. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.